Hello, greetings. This is Gilles Monsieur. I'm called to come back and speak to you today on this Sunday, this full moon in Scorpio. It is a very powerful moon. For it's a moon that will bring about all kinds of things, hidden secrets, and we're asked to address our sexual self. We are sexual beings. Sexuality is a very primal energy. It's connected to our will. We have no choice, but we need to let go of all blame and shame and all kinds of healing in relationship to all kinds of completion in terms of the cycle in relationship to our sexual past, to own our sexual self, to become our true self. We are transforming our perception, and we are in terms of sexuality and owning ourselves. To get rid of all the fake relationship, all kind of codependency and manipulation, the sexual relationship that are convenient for pleasure or for like social or financial, or all those things is like they will no longer function. They has to be true blue, has to be true. Yes, everything has to be white and blue. It's like a diamond, has to be clear. Everything in relationship, we're going to be opening to new level of relationship, and this. And so that in allowing ourselves to be sexual, to recognize this sexual nature, we become vulnerable, but we are also authentic. And so it's about keeping the balance, staying serene, and allowing ourselves to be empowered, so that we can attract the right mates or the right mate. I had this life that's coming back really strong in the past. The main theme of this life was romance and partying, and also the management of power. But it was like, and this life is very conditioning me right now. And I had many past lives where but I'm not going to get into that. So I'm going to pull a few cards. The highest wisdom for us today is the Page of Gabriel. Energetic, courageous, optimist. Follow your passion. You are ready to undertake new challenges. Go on new and stimulating adventure. So it's like there is all kinds of new adventures that will be possible, that are before us. What we need to understand is the Lady of Ariel, mature, spirit, practical spirit, generous, happy. Take care of you and those you love. Capacity to make everything nicer. Advices that are practical and wise. So we have to tune in to those advices that are both practical and wise. What we need to do is the Empress, the Archangel Gabriel. It is time to manifest your project. Your creativity is being rewarded. Lux and abundance. So it's about moving into this state of total abundance, total luxury, total joy, total acceptance of the divinity that is fully there, to allow that to. And the outcome is the Four of Gabriel. Beautiful card. After the effort, the recomfort. You are harvesting the fruits of your work. Get rid of the situation that are oppressing you. So it's a very romantic, very beautiful romantic card, and so there is all kinds of. So it is those times that we are getting ready for this. This great deal of newness that will be coming, and that is already there. I'm going to discuss a few things while I'm here. Just some ideas. Is that we are not clairaudient yet, but once we elevate our consciousness, for those who have had the ability to tune in to those frequencies in the cosmos, every star is singing a song. Every planet is singing a song. Every soul is singing a song, and this is creating this grand symphony that is marvelous. And we'll eventually hear this music of the sphere. So we have to in the meantime, we have to tune into our own song, to play this instrument, this human instrument, in the highest frequency possible. For we are a mutant race. We are being transmuting into higher frequency beings, from solid and linear to transdimensional, multidimensional, fluid, and crystalline being. There is because right now there is all kinds of egregores that are collective sorts that are fighting each other. but understanding that all those worlds of politics and all those worlds of everything that's happening in the outside worlds are distraction that distract you from tuning into your own potential, to what's really real and true. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong or bad about that, but you have to recognize, understanding that much of the old distraction, the things I used to love to do or to entertain myself with, are completely boring. They have like passed, and very soon I know there will be new things that will replace that. In terms of external stimuli. But right now we are forced to turn inwards. We are no longer concerned with fear, healing, mastery. Everything is there. It's happening. It's just in a matter of how do we teach those we need, those we meet need. We are going through many new downloads of energy, but it's becoming easier to integrate those new downloads, those new energies, and understanding the period of testing will soon be over. For we have been tested, and those who have not addressed their inner self will be tested. But as we continue to address those inner self, we will soon will end this period. Will be forever gone. We've all been through a long galactic history before we even came down to the earth. We as spirit beings, we had to come down. It's just as difficult to ascend into the higher plane than it is to descend into the lower plane. For spirit beings to manifest a physical growth form like this takes a long time. So we had to take dozens of incarnations in all kinds of advanced star nation to prepare ourselves. And eventually we came here in this physical plane, whether it's the earth or another planet in the physical universe, to complete the cycle, to complete, so that we'll return where we're going to be returning to the place where we left originally, our origin point, but we'll be coming back as more than we left. Something that Spirit revealed to me. And so yes, we're made of many parts. We are made of all states in truth. The biggest part of us is God, but we have this human part. We have this Arcturian part, the Sirian part, the Pleiadian part, the Orion part, the Draconian part, the insectoid part, the reptilian part, the lion part. We have all those things that are part of us. Sometimes we choose to align with some frequency. We don't need to align with all the frequency, but we cannot deny ourselves all those parts of ourselves. And so we need to integrate that, and so that everything finds its right and proper place. We are all unique beings with unique parts, and we have unique history, unique origin, unique history, and unique destiny. So it works differently for everyone. So I always tell you to tune in to your own inner self. Your inner guidance knows you better than anyone else, and that will remain true, no matter how long it takes for us to find this relationship on the inner planes. Understanding, no matter what the situation is, it's always about the inner condition. How do we deal with it from the inner standpoint? It's not what civilization will teach us, but it is very, very important. We are waiting for this event that's going to change the world, like the extraterrestrial coming, or transformation of the monetary system, all those things, but they may take 10 or 20 years to arrive. So in the meantime, those are distractions in relationship to what you can already achieve. Once you achieve this ascension, you will be able to work on both sides. You will be able to work from the ships and down here on the plane. On a much grander scale, much grander, the consciousness is continued to open, and it is a lot easier to learn about love when we live in an ascended realm. When we live, if you go to Arcturus or Pleiades or the world of Sirius, you'll see that love is permanent field, and you cannot not feel it. But there is not much to learn about it because it's already so present. So in order to learn more about love and light, we come to places in great darkness. It's where we can, because it's the challenge of keeping the love alive and the light lit is far greater when you live in a world that is so dark. And so for the planet is cleansing herself as well. So because of all that we've done, also we've participated so much through all our many past lives. Also wanted to say that sometimes doing a small thing with love is better than to doing big things without love. Taking this example in France, if you're gardening with love, or if you're doing your dishes with love, you'll accomplish more for the ascension and the healing of the planet than if you write a symphony without love because you have a contract and you have a deadline. It's like, I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it. Most people write symphonies are not like that. They put love into what they do, but it's just an example. So it's like putting love into small things. It's like very, very powerful to find gratitude and enjoyment in the little things of life. has great value for the purpose of evolution. Um, for we may only become what we want to become at the end. For it's what the song says that I'm going to sing. It's like maybe all that we seek, we're working for. It's like everything will accumulate at the end of our incarnation, and we'll become that. And so that's just a marvelous potential of becoming of becoming. Although there is so much that will be integrated within this lifetime, and there is a great shift coming. Because let us say that we've had thousands of lifetimes, for those who may believe that, and at the end of a certain lifetime we balance that our karma, but there are certain things that, no, I don't want to deal with that, I'm going to throw it 1,000,000 years in the future, I'm going to put it at the end. And then every time, every life, we say, oh no, that I'll deal with it at the end, oh no, that I'll deal with it at the end. Now we're at the end, and so we have to deal with all those things that we've been pushing down. So it's no big deal, just don't take things too seriously, just pass through it and accept the freedom, the liberation of that ending, of that new beginning. For karma, you can also say, well, I'm going to push this karma 1,000,000,000 years into the future, I don't want to deal with it now. But that means you're going to go through a linear path of time for another 1,000,000,000 years before you can actually ascend. So let us face the karma, for our soul knows what we can handle and what we cannot handle. For understanding that this ascension is happening with all the veils in place. If the veils, God, in one snap of a finger, all the veil could fall, everybody would know everything. There would be, but for now, we're like, the veils are in place. It is for us to let the veil fall one after the other, after the other, after the other. For there are certain veils in my life that I wish that they would fall, but I know if they're there for a reason, and I just looking forward with great eagerness to the time when those certain veil will fall, because I know what's behind the veil, but I like to see it. But since there is a veil, I cannot see beyond the veil. For the veil are subtle. They're like for the truth of the ascended plane is far greater, the beauty of this world. And when we return to this world, we'll see there is a great sense of familiarity. It's like we've never left it, but we have never left it. And it's like it's not something that is foreign or alien to us. It is so familiar. It is so familiar because it's what's here that's not familiar that we need to deal with. But once we return to the ascended plane, sometimes we can have dreams of those things, or we can meditation or experiences. We feel so good, and when you feel good, it's like it's the familiarity that is there. That's about what I wanted to address. Obviously, on the media, there is this great thing about saving the soldat Europe. You know, it's like Europe, let's save Europe. I was listening to some people. It's like on TV they were saying, of course, this is just for amusement purposes. I'm talking about that. Is say, well, we are French, but we're also European. Europe is a nation. We can all agree that we are European. It is our nation. No, it's not true. Europe is many nations, and it is the European Union that is suffering, and the BCE, the central bank. This is really the problem. It's like this Europe is governed by people that are autocratic, they are self-proclaimed, and they are dictatorial. They dictate the law. When we want an Europe that's democratic, where the people can elect their own leader, eventually, and it is consultative, that brings about consultation, that assists the world, but not impose their law. And that is really the problem. We'll see how this goes, but we're going to need to return. I think the biggest problem with this is about the euro. The huge inflation, this like using the Dutch mark as the base money for Europe. Europe will work for Germany, but even the English didn't get into the euro, so that's like it's easier to Brexit, but it doesn't work for France, it doesn't work for Italy, it doesn't work for Greece, it doesn't work for Spain, Portugal. There is many countries that are not really, the newer countries are getting more benefits because they're just getting in and they're getting subventions, and so they're like, yeah, we want Europe, but it's us that's paying for those contributions. So it's like everything will have to be. I think we're going to need to change this. Get a euro that's gold backed. That's like a return to an organization that has the assets that will allow them to forgive all the debts and start fresh, to produce bills that are actually guaranteed by something. It's just not monopoly money that they print and print and print to give to all the bankers. And then we used to talk about millions when billions used to be like, ooh, and now we're talking trillions, quadrillions, quintillions. They've created so much fake money that it's like, and it's all in the world of finance. They don't know how to reintroduce it into the world, and then in the meantime people are suffering because all this production of this financial debauchery of money, they created. That's absolutely just absolute nonsense. But all of this will come into the light. Even in America, they're thinking about going to the gold-backed standards. The Chinese are buying gold. The Russians are buying gold. Everybody is being aware that this is the problem, and so it will be solved. There was even a master named Saint Germain and another ascended master named Kuan Yin, who in the past have created great reserves of gold that can be used to reset the whole world economy. That can be different currencies that can be gold backed, so to speak. Of course, at this point, gold could not become speculative, and you cannot speculate on money to assure guarantee the stability of the economy. Those things will come into the light as time goes by. We're going to adapt, we're going to grow, we're going to evolve. For now, everything is perfect, everything is following. For now, we just want to follow our own, whatever's potential. Is far more important to address whatever our highest passion, our highest well-being, our highest fulfillment in the now or in the near future. For us personally, rather than having to implicate our mind with all those complex principles of collective evolution, unless we are called to do that. Well, I hope this message was interesting for you. It's just an opinion, an idea, sorts of different. I'm going to finish with this song. It's a song from the 1960s. This is a painting on astronomy, and this is a painting from Millet. It's called L'Angelus. It's an inspiration from this great masterpiece from Millet, who was one of the first, because painting before the 19th century, painting had to be very realistic because they have no photography, and then after photography was invented, we're asking more from painting than just being realistic. And at the time, it was like mostly for the noble people, for the bourgeoisie and the noble people, but Millet painted the peasants, and so it was kind of new. It was very inspirational. And this is a painting of two peasants called Angelus, who are praying at the end of the sunset. Of course, it doesn't look like the Millet, but it's an inspiration. I've done another one like this, and I might just continue to do those, take some great masterpiece of the art history and put them in my own source, so to speak, to create those new images. So the song of the 1960s, maybe it's because I grew up in my teenage years, when in the 70s. Maybe it's because I think this music from the 60s, 70s was extremely inspired. Now it's like it's much more commercial. It's much more a lot of the music that are very popular now. We listen to it for 6 months and then we never listen to it. They're just it's replaced by something. But there is certain art and music that can last a lot longer. And so it does take time to see the true value of things. For we're not getting tired of Beethoven or Mozart or Tchaikovsky or Chopin. But this is a song from the 1960s. It's a romantic song. It goes like this: nights in white satin, never reaching the end. Letters I've written, never meaning to send. Beauty I've always missed with these eyes before. Just what the truth is, I can't say anymore. 'Cause I love you, yes I love you, oh, I love you. Gazing at people, some hand in hand, just what I'm going through, they can't understand. Some try to tell me, so they cannot defend, just what you want to be, you will be in the end. And I love you, yes I love you, oh, how I love you. Nights in white satin, never reaching the end. Letters I've written, never meaning to send. Beauty I've always missed with these eyes before. just what the truth is. I can't say anymore, 'cause I love you. Yes, I love you. How I love you. I thank you very much for sticking till the end. I hope you have a wonderful full moon with this wonderful Sunday. This week will bring all kinds of newness, new miracles, new possibility that will unfold, and let us be ready. And the champagne is in the fridge; it's ready. So keep always a bottle of champagne in the in the cold, so we can be ready to celebrate. Well, it's not about the alcohol; it's about the celebration that is coming. I thank you very much. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. I'll talk to you later. Namaste.